This episode of the NHL Show on Sports Addict Live is brought to you by none other than First Round Collectibles. With over 40 years experience, First Round Collectibles offers the widest variety of quality Beckett-graded sports cards anywhere. Representing 10 major sports, First Round has all your favorite players from all your favorite teams at great prices. We are proud of our knowledgeable staff and top-rated customer service, and our reviews vouch for our integrity. Visit us today at firstroundcollectibles.com and find your heroes. And until January the 4th, thousands of cards are discounted up to 50% off. Get an additional 10% with the code SPORTS Addict and get an additional 10% off. That is firstroundcollectibles.com. Number one, STRoundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beat's back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins.
And welcome, Sports Addict Live, the NHL Show. It's Friday, boys. How we feeling?
Got that Friday feeling. It's time to go.
That's right. That's right. John, what about you, man?
Trying to make some money for our viewers heading into the weekend.
That's right. That's right. As a gambler, the weekend is like, we could make so much money. We could lose so much money. So many possibilities. It's so exciting, but there's no losing here. By the way, I could be wrong, but John, I think you're 2 locks in a row. Am I correct on this?
Yeah, starting a little winning streak there after last night.
Yeah.
Trying to end the week strong and go over 500 there later today.
Very good. So, in your honor, why don't you go first? What is your takeaway from Thursday night in the National Hockey League?
All right, so my takeaway will remain on positive betting news, and that's we're going to go over to the Northwest in Canada. How about the Vancouver Canucks? Shout out to them. They're the bettors' favorite team right now in hockey. Bettors are making a lot of money on Vancouver sports books, maybe making some enemies with those guys, but we're here to make people money. The Vancouver Canucks had a very impressive win last night against the Florida Panthers, and towards the end of yesterday's episode, I mentioned that Vancouver had the most positive units for money line bets out of any NHL team this season, and I believe that continued last night because we talked about it yesterday. Vancouver was a very surprising underdog despite winning their previous game, despite Florida coming off a loss. I mean, this is no disrespect to Florida. They're a good team. But Vancouver, I felt like they were getting underappreciated all year. I felt like the sports books hadn't caught up to how good Vancouver has been this year quite yet. And I think it showed itself last night that the sports books need to adjust and take Vancouver more seriously because they're here to stay.
Dude, they're a really good hockey team, man. Like, you watch them and like that game last night. Now 4-0, but Florida didn't play awful. Like, I think they had 15 shots in that third period. Demko played terrifically. But yeah, I'm with you, man. And I was looking ahead to tomorrow's game. They're playing in the afternoon against Minnesota, which makes me mad because I love to end my night off on Saturday with some 10 p.m. Vancouver action. But they are underdogs, but they're minus money. So it's like the books being like, oh, okay, whoopsie, we'll make you underdogs, but you're still minus money. Yeah, that's a great point. Andre, what do you got, man?
I just real quick while we're still thinking about Vancouver, Luongo in the Ring of Honor. Congrats to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great
Yes.
point.
Good shout
Great
out.
point.
Yeah. Weird goaltending night too. Thatcher Demko was money. Stopped. Had a shutout. He has stopped 64 shots in a row now. On the other side, Sergei Bobrovsky passed the puck right to a Canuck for a goal. So it had it all yesterday in
Not the
Vancouver.
best.
But my takeaway is about scoring. Last night Stamkos had 4 goals. Sidney Crosby the other night had 2 goals. He's tied for 4th in the league with 17. Even Evgeny Malkin, he has 10 this year. But the dude who I paid a lot of money to see one night, I didn't go to see him. I went to see the Rangers. And he ended up becoming 5th on the all-time goal scoring list. Alexander Ovechkin has not scored in 11 games in a row. It's the longest streak of his career. He has 5 goals on the year. He had another 9-game drought earlier in the season. I know Backstrom's away from hockey. I know Evgeny Kuznetsov is not what he used to be. But is Ovechkin done? He looks slow. He looks, I don't want to say lazy because that's kind of harsh, but he's not. There's no motor really. He's just kind of there. I know his shooting percentage is 5.3%. That's going to go up. He's going to find goals eventually, you think, but the record's looking gone. In his career, it looks like it's maybe a year left.
Does anyone think he's only still playing because of the record?
Yeah. Part of me thinks that.
Yeah. I mean, if this keeps up this year, this is an insane drop off.
Yeah.
Like he had a pretty good year last year. Like not what he was, but he was still scoring goals. So yeah, maybe. I think that you can say that, John, at the end of this year for sure. Like if this keeps going this way and he comes back, it's like he's just hoping he finds some magic. Because you're right, Andre. Like that's the big conversation right now. Is like there's always the comment of like you think he'll like find it eventually, and it's like, oh, man, we're 30 games in, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think he's done, Andre? It's hard to say that right in the movie.
It's hard to say that too when the rest of the offense also was non-existent.
Fair.
But he's not moving the same. Honestly, even when he doesn't have the puck, even when there's not a scoring chance, it just I didn't think he was going to break the record anyway, but he's really ran out of steam a lot quicker than I thought. I think he might be done.
Yeah, and I mean those power play numbers in general, right? That was his bread and butter, was getting that power play. And like no disrespect to his goal, like he's scored a ton of goals, and I think he has 50 or almost 50 of them in an empty net. But when you're not in a position to get like those kind of garbage time goals too, right? Excellent points by you guys. My takeaway, and I want to be positive. It's Friday. I want to be positive. The Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs collectively have spent a ton of money to keep their stars. And in the hard cap era, which I hate, by the way, but it is what it is, that matters. And you have two teams who have aspirations of winning the Stanley Cup. And you put goaltending back there that is cheap, not trustworthy at all, and it drives me insane. I know that the Leafs were down 5-0, but if you watch that game, they did not play great, understood, but most, if not all, of those shots need to be saved. They need to be saved by Samsonov. They need to. The overtime goal, too. Like, it was a good shot, but, like, he needs to save that puck. The Edmonton Oilers outshot. Now, I understand Vasilevsky had an incredible game. incredible game, especially that third period. He played outstanding. He still gave up 4 goals. They outshot Tampa Bay 57-22, and you lose 7-4. Now, 2 of those goals were empty netters. I hear you. But that means that 17 saves on 22 shots that were against Skinner. So I guess 24 shots overall, but 22 shots against Samsonov, 17 saves. It's just not good enough. And I just feel like there's like defensive issues on both teams, especially Toronto. And I know that the Oilers went out and they paid $5 million a year for Jack Campbell, but we know who Jack Campbell is, man. Like, he played here for a long time. He played back up with the Kings. He's a good goalie. He's not a $5 million goalie, that's for sure. And I know that there's not all these, like, you know, Demkos and Vasilevsky and Shesterkin and Hellebuck and all the, like, I know there's only a like limited amount, but if you're the Leafs and your rookie goaltender Woll goes down, that shouldn't be like overly concerning. Like, you should have somebody else that you trust to put in the net. And right now we have Samsonov and we have Martin Jones. And listen, Martin Jones has had a terrific career. He got waived earlier this year and he's not getting paid a lot. And there's a reason why he didn't get picked up. So my takeaway is you have Toronto and you have the Oilers, who are 2 of the best goal scoring teams in the league. And your goaltending is cheap and you can't get a save. And it's insanely frustrating. Insanely frustrating. Do you guys have anything to add before we move on?
I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, I gotta be careful, man. Once I start talking about the stupid Toronto Maple Leafs, I just couldn't believe it, man. John, you talked about it yesterday that they're tired, and I was about to text you and be like, "Yeah, you're right, John. They're tired." But then they scored 5 goals, like 5 goals.
Me too.
Yeah, man. Like, you don't look too tired now.
I'm wondering if it was like they didn't have the energy for a full game effort, but that third period is just insane. I don't know what happened there. I really don't.
If any team can come back, it's Toronto, but I mean, and like Matthews scored like 2 goals in 30 seconds at the end of that game. And something happens with this team when they pull the goalie. I think they have the most goals scored with a pull goalie in the league. Like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something like that. It's wild, but all right, moving on to the bad beats of the night. Andre, what is your bad beat of the night, my friend?
Well, instead of picking on Calgary again for being stupid and finding a way to not make me money in the most painful way ever for no reason, I'm going to shift sports shamelessly. We're going to take a little trip to Vegas. And I saw one of my friends sent me a bet slip that wasn't his. It was somebody else's on the internet. And it said, I'm trying to remember this correctly, Chargers first half money line, Chargers team total in the first half, Chargers money line outright. And I think the Chargers team total, like, for the game. You guys know how the game went, right?
Not great.
It was 42-0 at half.
It's very Chargers heavy.
It would be like a hockey game being 15-1.
This man lost that parlay in approximately 5 minutes.
Did you see?
And at halftime, it was soul crushing.
Any bet on the Chargers last night was like lighting money on fire.
Did you see how much the bet slip was worth? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. I'd just be curious to how much pain that guy's in this morning.
It was so bad. But yeah, 60. It was 63-7 at one point. It was disgusting. If you put money on the Chargers, I'm so sorry. But also, why would you ever do that?
I was gonna ask. Did you guys put money on the Chargers last night?
I know
My
better.
my pick on I didn't put money on the game at all, but my winners and whiners pick for the game was the Raiders -3.
The Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since you guys didn't bet the Chargers, then I'll say this. A, you never bet on the Chargers, first of all. B, like you never bet on the Chargers to lose either, because who knows what's about to happen.
The Chargers
And
are going to charge you.
They, especially without Herbert, like, and they don't have Keenan Allen, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
He was out.
So
Bet on the
I
Chargers.
found it.
You, man.
I
You
found
found it? Okay.
It was under 36 total points for the game, under 17.5 in the first half. Chargers money line in the first half, and Chargers money line overall. The wager was $88.90.
Okay.
So it's not like he bankrupt. Well, I don't know their finances, but
Yeah. If he only had $89, then that is bankrupting. Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
But it clearly says lost at the top with 30 seconds left in the first half.
Does it really? That's
And
so
they hadn't X'd out Chargers money line first half yet, so it's just a brutal day.
that's literally like, listen, I've had bet slips like that, but not with the Chargers.
Yeah.
I was telling you guys today, the only time that I will bet on the Chargers is if they're winning 27-0 at a halftime in a playoff game. I trust them to lose that game. I will bet on them to lose that game 100%. John, what do you got for best beats, bro?
All right, that was a great trip down Thursday Night Football lane last night. I'll try to pivot this back to hockey. I got a little 2-for-1 for us from last night, one of which I picked on the air yesterday. The other one is more general. Let's go back to the Philadelphia Flyers against the Washington Capitals. Last night on the show, I picked Washington to upset Philadelphia, and it looked like there was a chance of that happening going into the third period. Washington was up by 1. And actually, there were only 3 goals scored at the end of the second period, and this is important for what I'm about to get into here. So Philadelphia and Washington go back and forth for a little bit, but eventually Washington goes up 3-2 in the middle of the third period. Later on in the third period, I believe with about 3 minutes to go in the game, Philadelphia ties the game against Washington. So that gets rid of any under bets people had right there, because there had to be one more goal to score to win the game. But that goal ended up being a double whammy for bad beats, because Philadelphia went on to win the game, I believe, in a shootout.
Yeah.
So I think that was a little 2-for-1 bad beat for Washington and the under there. So that's I only picked Washington yesterday, but I think shout out to anyone to pick the under too in that game. Bad beat all around last night.
Yeah, yeah, like Philly, like they're really curious to me, man, because they didn't play super well, but they found a way to win. There's just something about this team that I really like. Also, it is Tortorella, and the best roast beef sandwich that I've ever had was like right around the corner from Wells Fargo. So I think that's close to my heart as well. My bad beat is Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk for Ottawa. I picked him over 4.5 shots. Even if they lost that game last night, I really thought that he would come out not literally swinging, but like would come out and would shoot a bunch of pucks on net. He ended up getting 3 shots, all of which came in the third period. And it's a bad beat for me because I just keep wanting to believe in this Ottawa team, and they're playing tonight, so we're going to talk about them later. But Kachuk looks like he's trying to be the leader. He's trying to be the captain, and it just seems sporadic. He's like taking bad penalties. He's just like fighting all the time, and it's a lot more with his attitude than it is with his play. And I picked him. I thought he would bounce back. He puts so many shots on the net. And yeah, I picked him again last night. And like I said, he ended up with 3, but they were all in the third period. And this Ottawa team, man, we've already seen a few coaches getting fired. And I would never want to see a coach get fired. This is like a human being. He's got kids. He's got a life. But man, I don't know how much longer DJ Smith can hang around. And that's my bad beat for the night.
Ottawa's had a couple of tough losses this week.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And they played Dallas tonight, which we'll talk about, and that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But first in New York, our boys Rangers home against Anaheim. New York Rangers minus 325 on the money line. Ducks plus 260. Minus 1.5 for the Rangers is minus 130. That is crazy. Minus 130 at minus 1.5. The Ducks plus 1.5 is plus 110. The over is 6 minus 122, and the under is plus 102. And as always, fan of the team, why don't you go first, man? What are you looking at this game?
I'm really curious to see who the Rangers start in net. First half of a back-to-back, but Shesterkin's been struggling, and Quick has been balling out. So it'd be really interesting to see who they go with first, or more importantly, who they pick to play in Boston, because that'll be the more important game. But regardless of who plays or not, I think this is a game the Rangers just, outscore the Ducks and win. I see them putting up like 4 goals, 5 goals in this one. And even if the Ducks get some back, like 2 or 3, it's enough to cover the puck line. And that's enough for me. So keep it short, sweet, and simple. I like the Rangers minus 1.5. I like the over 6. Even though it's minus 122, not the greatest odds. But I think that's the better bet in this game, honestly, over. So that's what I'm looking at in this game.
I'm right there with you. I won some money last night, and I instantly put money down on this game, and I will dive into and that was at like 1:00 in the morning. I was like, I can't wait. But I'll get into that in a minute. John, what do you see in this game, man?
I tried to find a compelling case to pick Anaheim, especially because I went bold with them on Wednesday and kind of want redemption for that. I just can't find a case. I really can't. I mean, the sports books seem very confident in the Rangers, given the money line and the puck line Andre just mentioned. And honestly, every statistical category I look at, the Rangers are not just better than the Ducks, they're a lot better. Like goals per game, goals allowed per game, the power play, the penalty kill. The Rangers have the Ducks beat in all those categories by quite a significant margin. I'm having a hard time making a case for any Ducks pick here. And I don't say that with extreme confidence. I really thought the Ducks might surprise us on Wednesday night. That feels like that was their best chance to get a win on this road trip. I think this is a very tough task. I don't think the Rangers will slip on the first half of the back-to-back or get caught looking ahead. I don't think so, but I thought it was worth a mention. I think with that said, it's hard for me to justify anything else but a Rangers puck line play here.
So last night I got the over 6.5, and the Rangers 60-minute money line was at minus 175. So a little bit better odds, but if I parlayed that with over 6.5, and I got that at plus 209. I'm glad that I did that because now the 60-minute money line is like minus 210 now. So that's better. And to parlay it, for some reason I was scared to take the puck line. And I think it's just because of what you said, Andre. Like, I probably should have waited. I just really liked the odds at the time. But who is in net? And I feel like Anaheim can be frisky enough to score some late goals and to keep the game close. I do think that the Rangers should win this game like 5-2, 6-2. Like, the Rangers should come out and put beat down on them. And I don't believe, like, the Rangers haven't played since they played the Leafs, right? Like on Tuesday. So they got some rest. Got some rest. A couple props that I like in this game on the Anaheim side. Vetrano, 103 shots on the season. On FanDuel, 4+ shots is plus 150. On DraftKings, I believe his over-under for shots was 2.5. And I think he can get 4 shots, mostly because who else do the Ducks have right now who's like moving the puck, right? He has 14 goals plus 185 on FanDuel. Panarin, 105 shots on net. And it's minus 115 for his over on shots as well. I like that. The other thing too is second best power play in the league belongs to the Rangers. 15th best penalty kill belongs to the Ducks, kind of middle of the pack there. Fox has 14 power play points on the year, plus 120 for him to get a power play point tonight. I think if the Ducks are in penalty trouble, I think that can be where this game has separation.
Yeah, he has 14 power play points in 17 games played. He's almost point per game on the power play. So, yeah.
Great point. Yeah. Because he missed a bunch of time. So that's, and the other power play point odds, like, you are getting decent odds, but that one I really, really liked for that reason. Moving on to the game of the night, I would say, if you're not a fan of any other team playing tonight, Boston is on the island. We go across from Manhattan, not across from, but you know what I mean. We move from Manhattan and we go to the island. Boston is in New York. New York is home dogs at plus 105. Bruins minus 125. Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 200. And Islanders plus 1.5 is minus 245. The over-under is 5.5. Minus 125 for the over. Under is plus 105. John, what do you see in this game?
This one is a tough call for me. The Bruins are on the first half of a back-to-back here with the Rangers tomorrow, and the Islanders are on a nice little winning streak right now. And the Bruins had a tough loss on Wednesday night against the Devils as well. So I'm honestly a little bit torn here. I think I still feel like the Islanders are due to lose a game at some point. So I think I'm leaning Boston very slightly. And I think the power play is a significant advantage for Boston. Their penalty kill is much better than the Islanders. I think Boston's at 90%. The Islanders are like maybe 73%. And Boston has a slightly better power play than the Islanders. I think it's like 22% to 20% or a little over for both. So I'm leaning towards Boston, especially with the goaltender advantage there. Yeah, and I think the Islanders are due to lose a game, to be honest with you. So give me the Bruins slightly.
Yeah, this might be recency biased. I just saw the Islanders play the Leafs, and I don't think there's any doubt that the Islanders, as of right now, like obviously Boston is the better team, but as of right now, the Islanders have been playing better. And I agree with you. It worries me a little bit. Like Boston's been losing some weird games, and it's a little bit weird. Like the Devils are a good team, no knock on them, but they
You could
just
argue they should have
haven't.
lost.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been tripping me out. The Islanders plus money is appealing. I think I do have to side with you. I'm all over the place with this game though, because on the one hand, I like the under a lot. I know it's 5.5, but you're getting a plus 105 for the under. I think it will be a low scoring game. However, the Islanders have been scoring like 4+ goals a game for the last little bit too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm all over the place. I actually really do like the props in this game though. Pasternak has 137 shots. And if you go on DraftKings, his over under for shots is 5.5, which is the highest that I've seen probably ever. And I'm sure that it's happened before, but I haven't seen it yet this year personally. Plus 105. That's the other thing. Plus 105 for over 5.5. It's not even like it's plus 200. Like it's 105 for over 5.5. I really like that bet. Like this guy hits 5 shots a game almost every game. And so I personally like that bet. He also has 16 goals on FanDuel. He is plus 100 for a goal, which I know isn't like terrific odds for goals, but on DraftKings, he was minus money about an hour ago. So I like both books, but for this like particular bet, FanDuel does have the better odds. He also has 16 power play points. And as you said, John, the Islanders penalty kill is brutal. So 16 power play points for Pasternak, plus 100 as well. So not the like craziest odds, but you're getting slight plus money with these props. I'm also going to go back to the well a little bit here. Nelson was my bad beat in shots, and I think it's over 2.5 for minus money. I think it's minus 135. I can't remember exactly for over 2.5 shots. Once again, I know it's not the best odds, but I'm taking it. A little redemption, going to make a little money back that I lost on his over shots the other day. The other thing, before I go on to Andre, the other thing that bothers me with the under here, and this is what scared me. Maybe Andre, you can talk some sense into me and kind of help me like make a decision for Pete's sake. Make it figure out like my mind. From November the 15th until now, the Islanders have played 14 games. Since then, they have only played 3 games, allowing less than 3 goals. And that's what trips me out here about the under, is the Islanders have been like allowing 3 or more goals pretty much every night since the middle of November. What do I do, Andre? What do you think, man?
I say avoid the trap. Earlier in November this year, these teams played 5-2 Bruins win. 4 of the past 5 meetings had at least 7 goals. So I think it's a trap. I fell for it yesterday in Caps Flyers. I'm not falling for it tonight. I'm taking the over. And, you know, ending that Oilers winning streak yesterday was painful for me. But, you know, I'm going to enjoy watching the Fifth Sticks lose tonight. So definitely taking the Bruins. They've only lost consecutive games.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, what did you just call them?
Fish sticks? You never heard that?
No, because the island is that like a like water?
No, in the 90s, they had tried to rebrand their uniforms, and it looked like it's the dude on the fish stick package.
Oh,
Like the Gordons do.
yeah.
I think I remember those old
Gordons
uniforms.
do.
It looked
I
like
know
a
what
weird
you're talking
sailor or
about.
something.
Because I
You never
bought
heard like a "We Want Fish Sticks"
Israel.
chant?
No.
Oh man,
I thought I knew hockey. Now I feel like I gotta relearn everything. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was like, did he just say fish sticks? What the heck is he talking about?
didn't say fish sticks.
Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
Fully said fish sticks. No, the Bruins don't lose 2 games in a row. They outside of that 3-game losing streak at the end of November, hasn't happened. They just lost to the Devils, a tough one. But like John said earlier, the Islanders are awful in the PK. The Bruins' power play is such a mismatch for them. The Bruins are better at keeping the puck out of the net. The Bruins are better at scoring. I know the Islanders are playing well right now, but the Bruins can shut down their offense, or at least slow down their offense. The Bruins can keep up with them. If they score 3 goals, the Bruins can score 4, especially if they get power play opportunities. So I like the Bruins on the road to win this game. Minus 125 is great odds for a team that good. It's just hard to not take.
All right. I think you convinced me. I'll take over 8.5. I'll go the
Sticks
opposite
for dinner?
way. Yeah.
Before
I actually
we move
bought that. What's that, John?
I got something for you, Mark, before we move off this game.
I remember those uniforms. Yeah, 100%. And I'll be real.
Wild
like,
uniforms.
I actually really like those. I don't
do
hate
too,
them.
honestly.
Yeah.
But they did an ad with it. That's how the fish sticks thing came. It was like the mascot or something.
That's so funny. I actually bought that guy's fish in the freezer not too long ago. I think you can get that in the freezer section or whatever.
Nice.
Love it. All right, moving on. This game, I don't know. In North Carolina, Nashville is in North Carolina, and Carolina's minus 166, which I feel like is super generous personally. I know that they've won 2 in a row, but like haven't looked great over the last like month or so. Nashville is plus 140. Carolina is minus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 145. Minus 175 for Nashville, plus 1.5 on the puck line. The over-under is 6. Minus 112 is the over, minus 1.8 for the under. I'll go first here. Since November the 18th, Nashville has played 14 games, and they've lost 3 times. I just don't see why. I can understand plus 140, but for Carolina to be minus 166, I don't know. I think those odds should be closer. I think Nashville, over the course of a long period, have been playing better hockey. And with Carolina, I know that they're a talented team and they had Stanley Cup dreams in the offseason. And I think that they can still bounce back. But as of right now, I don't trust it. I like Nashville here. Carolina's won 2 in a row. On that winning streak, they have outscored their opponents 6-2. I don't hate Carolina. Like, you want to give me Carolina, maybe 60-minute money line or whatever, I'm with you. I just think over the stretch of the last month, like, Nashville's just been playing better hockey, and I'll take the plus 140 all day. Maybe not all day, like 3/4 of the day. I can understand the Carolina argument. What I like from Nashville is they're getting depth scoring as well. It's not just the same guy. And so like I really like Nashville here. Forsberg has 113 shots. His over 3.5 is plus 135, which is terrific odds. He gets 4 shots almost every game. Over 3.5 plus money, I think, is terrific. He also has 15 goals, plus 170 for him to score tonight. And Aho, he scored 2 the other night. He wasn't scoring too much, but he scored 2 a couple nights ago. Plus 150 for him to score. Those are my thoughts. Andre, what do you think, bro?
I agree with you that the minus 166 is a little too much for me, and I'm not trusting the Canes puck line. But I think they're going to win the game, just because they're 8-2-1 at home, and even though their special teams mysteriously gets worse at home, they're just overall a better team, and it's been like that for years. Honestly, they've been a much tougher out at home than on the road for the past few years. And when you flip to the Predators, they've been squeaking out wins. They've been playing well, but on the road, they're scoring fewer than 3 goals per game. Their special teams also dips. So just looking at this, because it's in Riley, I think you got to go with the Canes, not minus 166, though. Puck line's a little hairy, so I just am going to take the 60-minute line, that minus 115 for Carolina.
Okay. Good odds. For sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And O'Reilly played for the Leafs last year, and I really miss him. So maybe it's just sentimental. John, what do you got here, man?
You guys will appreciate this Nashville trend. So to go a little, in their last 7 games, Nashville's been 5-2, but the 2 teams they've lost to in that stretch are your 2 teams, the Rangers and the Leafs.
Nice.
They've
Obviously.
won every other
I
game.
love that.
That's a wonderful find. Thank you. That made me feel better.
I think you
needed
would
that.
appreciate that one.
I needed that going into the weekend. Thank you, John.
No, anytime, man. I swear this is a tough slate today because I don't have any strong reads so far of the games we've done. I'm leaning towards your side on this one, though, Mark. I do think this is a bit much for Carolina. Nashville has been playing well of late, and Carolina's had a good last 2 games as well, getting back on track yesterday night and Tuesday night. I'm a little concerned about fatigue. I know after yesterday, I really don't have any right to say that, considering the Leafs scored 5 last night. I think this is me fading the. I mean, this is going to be the 3rd game in 4 days for Carolina, so I'm not 100% confident in Carolina holding up. Have they played? They've traveled quite a bit in that stretch too. I mean, they went at Ottawa, at Detroit, and now they're flying back home today. I think Nashville has played well. They've certainly had the better goaltending this year. Nashville's penalty kill does concern me, but Carolina's really isn't that great either, if I'm being honest. I think of the underdogs on the board tonight in general, Nashville is the one I think has the best value. I think this is part of the reason why I'm leaning Nashville in this one. I don't see another strong underdog I can make an argument for. So I think of the underdogs on the board, this is my favorite one. So I think this is part of the reason why I'm leaning Nashville tonight, plus 140.
Yeah, the one thing that does scare me, that makes me consider what Andre was saying, is that like Carolina is one of those teams, much like the Devils, much like the Oilers, where we were waiting, like, are they going to kind of come around? And they've won 2 in a row, and they've looked pretty good. Like Husso last night against Detroit, he was outstanding. Detroit played a really good game, but Carolina. So it is kind of concerning. Like maybe Carolina's coming around now. But I'm with you though, John. I think that's my play for this one as well. Oh my gosh. All right. So Ottawa is in Dallas, and Ottawa, they're driving me insane. Before the episode, during our pregame, I was ranting about Ottawa as a city. I love this city. It's an excellent city. They got phenomenal food, shawarma, poutine. What do you want? Ottawa's got it. They got an excellent nightlife. It's terrific. And they deserve so much better than what they're getting from Ottawa right now. I think that this Ottawa team is a good team on paper. I think they have good players. I think they have good players on defense, on offense. They're just not doing the little things right at all right now. They look sloppy. They look slow. They look lost. And it's really frustrating to watch. Now, what benefits Ottawa here is because of their trip to Sweden. They have played, I think, 7 less games than almost everybody. If not 7, it's pretty close to that. And if I'm not mistaken, they've only had 7 games on the road, which makes this all the more frustrating. Is they have been at home almost every night, and they needed to take advantage of that because it's about to get hard, and it's on the road now against Dallas. Like, I think this is a really bad spot for them. Dallas is minus 205, Ottawa's plus 170. Dallas minus 1.5 is only plus 124, while Ottawa plus 1.5 is minus 148. The over-under is 6.5, minus 105 for the over, minus 115 for the under. I once again, this could be recency bias, but I have been watching Ottawa the last little bit. And I would never call for someone's job. I don't want anyone to get fired. I'm curious as to why this hasn't happened yet, though. Like, this team is searching for the playoffs, and it's been looking pretty tough. I think Dallas minus 1.5 is the absolute play here. I just don't think Ottawa has it right now. I think this is the start. Like, this is a brutal, in Dallas on a Friday night, man. I don't trust it for Ottawa. I as I was saying, before, I think Brady Tkachuk, he's the captain. I get it. I think he's just trying to lead the wrong way rather than playing. He's just trying to fight guys and just yelling at guys and getting kicked out of games. I really do believe that they're just in a bad place. And I think Dallas wins this game. I'd be curious, Andre, what the 60-minute line is for this one, because I do like minus 1.5. But I also think this game will absolutely be won in 60 minutes. I don't think overtime is in the cards here. A couple quick props that I like. Ottawa is 28th on the penalty kill. Dallas is 7th on the power play. Robertson, Heiskanen, and Hintz all lead the team in power play points. Robertson has 11 points. He is plus 280 to get a power play point. And Heiskanen has 9 power play points. He is plus 290. And Hintz has 8 power play points, and he is plus 350. And I think those are excellent power play odds for a team who has a good power play playing a team who has one of the worst penalty kills in the league. So that's where I'm leaning. John, what do you got, man?
I think the games in hand are about the only positive Ottawa has right now, given what they are in the standings. I mean, they're in last place and have the least amount of points in the Eastern Conference, at least. The good news for them is that they've only played 24 games because of what you said, the Sweden trip they had. And there's only 2 other teams in the league that have played less than 27 games, the Kings and the Capitals, in case those of you back home are wondering. So the point being, Ottawa does have games in hand. Maybe this stretch determines if their head coach survives or not. What I also find strange about Ottawa is that despite their poor point total, they have a decent goal differential. They're plus 3 on the year, yet they're near the bottom of the standings. With all that said, I talked during the last game about having a hard time picking many underdogs tonight. This is one of those cases. I'm with you on Dallas 1.5 all the way. For the reasons you said, honestly, I think the special team stuck out to me. Dallas has a much better penalty kill than Ottawa. They have a superior power play in general. So I think this is what's going to decide it. I feel pretty comfortable with Dallas winning by 2 goals here.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, sorry, Andre. Go ahead, man.
No, I think you guys knocked this game out of the park. I'm on Dallas -1.5. Also, the star 60-minute line mark for you is -140 right now on DraftKings. And I don't have much to add about the game itself, so I'll just say about the coach thing. New ownership, possibly, while they're not making a move.
Fair.
You know, maybe trying to get some sense of stability, not trying to do anything too drastic yet. But as far as the game tonight, Stars way better at home, playing better right now. There's no reason not to take a -1.5. I think that's a pretty good bet.
Yeah, and it's a good point about the new ownership. Also, it just came to my mind that they've fired their GM in the offseason for some shady activity. And so it could just be like, we've been rocking the boat a little bit. Let's just kind of, so like I can get that for sure. But yeah, like I don't want to see the guy fired. And I feel like they start chanting fire DJ every like 2 or 3 weeks, like up there. I think John said it, like, if they don't make, like, they have to overachieve, like, in this stretch for him to stick around. Unfortunately, it's just kind of the way that it goes. Also, what up, Dusty? How you doing, bro? I see you late, like 10 minutes late, but that's okay. I saw you anyway. All right. The official team of the NHL show. I gotta check up on the odds for this team to make it to the playoffs, because they gotta be getting, like, I think the days of 101-1 are long gone, because the Sharks are coming, man. They're coming. Sharks are in Arizona. Arizona is -196. Sharks are +164, which might be one of the best odds that they've had all year. I feel like they're like +200 every day. So +164 is all right. -1.5 for Arizona is +120. +1.5 for the Sharks is -142. The over-under is 6.5 at +105. Andre, how do you feel about our Sharks and the Coyotes?
I'm so torn. The Yotes are not playing well at all right now. They've lost 4 in a row. They only scored 3 or more goals in one of those games. They lost by multiple goals in all of those games. And then there's the Sharks, who are playing well. They just won against Winnipeg 2-1. They were on the road before that. And, all their losses, except for the Boston one, were by 1 goal. Against playoff teams, the Rangers and the Knights, their wins were all on the road. The Islanders, Devils, Red Wings. It was a good stretch. They had beaten the Caps and Canucks before that. It's like, I want to take the Sharks so bad, but I don't trust them in this spot on the road. Arizona needs a win. As much as I love my boys, my home, away from home, I'll say, in San Jose, they're not as good as Arizona in any way. They're usually not better on the road. If this was in the tank, I'd take San Jose all the way. But the Sharks having to travel to Tempe, Got to go with the Yotes. I don't like the -1.5 though. 60-minute line's only the -140. I really don't know what to do here. So I'm just going to take the under 6.5 and be done with it. It's the cop out. I'm not picking a side.
I'm glad you mentioned the under, because that is honestly my favorite play here in tonight's game. I'm like you, very torn on this one between the Sharks and the Yotes. And I joked on an earlier show this week that you and I have a sixth sense about the Sharks. And I'm just not feeling like this is the right spot to take the Sharks in an upset. With that said, I don't fully trust the Coyotes either. Coyotes tend to be the Sharks are well rested, so I like that. I don't think they've played since Monday or something like that, since the Winnipeg game, I'm pretty sure. So I think the Sharks have that going for them. With that said, the Coyotes have done well in terms of not allowing goals. I think they average 3.07 per game. I know the Sharks are at the bottom of the league, but I think that's just because when they're bad, they're really bad. It's like the Sharks are an all or nothing team. Like they're either going to allow near 10 goals or they're going to allow 1 or 2. My gut feeling is this is a night where they only allow a couple of goals. I just don't know against a team like Arizona. I don't like that matchup for them. I just don't know if they're going to put up enough themselves to win this. I mean, they're at the bottom of the league in goals per game as well as goals allowed. So with that said, I'm liking the under here. I feel like this game will finish under 6.5. So that's going to be my bet in this game.
Yeah, I mean, boys, the Sharks are 6-3 in their last 9. I looked that up today. I was like, man, these guys 6-3. Look at
And
that.
look at the
They're
losses.
out of last place. They're out of last place.
And
What
the
are the
losses,
okay?
so it was an overtime loss or a shootout loss in Vegas, a 1-goal loss in the Garden, and then a 3-goal loss in Boston. But that was November. December Sharks are a different team.
That's right. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
They're new. It's almost the new year. They're starting the new year early. The Coyotes, I've talked about this on the show before. I've actually really liked watching this team. I think they've surprised me along with other people in the first few months of the season. I really want to believe in this team. Super streaky. Like they're on a 4-game losing streak, like you guys mentioned. Before that, they won 5 in a row. And before that, they lost 3 in a row. So it's like just kind of like it's like feast or famine with with this team. I agree with you that they're going to win tonight. I'm looking at that puck line a little bit, just because I do think that you're talking about like good goal scorers, and Arizona has like 4 or 5 guys who can put the puck in the net almost every night. And I can see it. I do really like the under as well. I agree with you guys. A couple props that I found also on FanDuel. Usually FanDuel and DraftKings are pretty similar with odds, but for whatever reason with certain odds in the shots and goal scoring tonight, FanDuel has some better odds. Keller 81 shots. For 4 shots is plus 172, which I really like. I think he averages around 3.5 a game right now. So for 4 shots plus 172, he has 9 goals on the year, plus 150 for him to score. Krause has 13 goals, plus 170 for him to score. And Carcone, this guy, I think Carcone is how you pronounce his name, or like Carcone or something, something authentic. He has 14 goals this year. He's plus 360 to score. That seems pretty outrageous. I don't know if the books just haven't caught on. He's not like a well-known goal scorer by any means, but he's got 14 goals this year, so plus 360. Like, don't mind if I do. I might have to dabble on that a little bit. But yeah, I think the Coyotes win. I'll look at that puck line, but for sure, I really like those props for tonight's game. All right, last game of the evening. Buffalo is in Vegas. I have a rule. We talked about the Chargers earlier. I have a rule, a gambling rule. Every gambler needs rules and accountability and responsibility. Not betting the Chargers is one of my rules. And I think Buffalo is very close to being on that list. This team I know that they're not a good team, and I know that they won't make the playoffs, but I also know that they'll beat, like, I don't know, Boston randomly, like 5-2 or 5-1 or whatever it was. Like, I think the obvious play here is Vegas -1.5. Now on the money line, Vegas is -2.5. Puck line is +120. Buffalo is +170 on the money line, -142 on the puck line. The over-under is 6.5 at -108. I like the over, and I like now the under. I can be talked into as well. I like the over because I think that Vegas is going to win like 6-1. I just think that, like, Skinner's not playing right now for Buffalo. I mean, Jack Eichel. I don't think Vegas as a whole really cares about the whole Jack Eichel used to play for Buffalo thing, but I think Eichel like cares about that still. I think he goes off tonight. He on FanDuel, for him to get 5 shots is +178. He has 123 shots on the year. A couple props that I like from the Buffalo side. Darlene has 79 shots. Over 2.5 is +110. I really like that. Thompson has 68 shots. He missed some time. He in 21 games, he has 68 shots. Over 3.5 is +135. So I think without Skinner, for Darlene to get over 2.5 and for Thompson to get over 3.5, all at plus money, I really like those odds. John, what are you seeing in this game, man?
I'll keep this short. Vegas is the defending Stanley Cup champion. They have the most points in the league. They have the second highest goal differential in the league. And they're at home tonight. So I'm not betting against them with a team like Buffalo coming in, who has a -16 goal differential and is near the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Short, sweet, to the point. Vegas puck line.
Whew. You see, at first, I just wanted to say Eichel's not built for it. The Sabres are going to get him back, and just go on this tangent about the second period Sabres from the other night. But I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm with you guys. Vegas dominates. They're playing well right now. They're going to win this game. The question is by how many. I think they win by multiple. I think the puck line is the safe play in this game. And I think I'm going to lean under, actually. I think I'm going to go 5-1 Vegas win.
Yeah. I mean, 6-1, 5-1. It's you got to pick one, right? That's the over under there. Is it 6-1 or 5-1? No, I 100% agree with you. All right. Wrapping up the show with our best bets, brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Don't forget, until January 4th, there is a sale on thousands of sports cards, up to 50% off. Get an additional 10% off with the code Sports Addict. That is firstroundcollectibles.com, the number 1 STroundcollectibles.com. John, best bet. What do you got? Make us some money going into the weekend, bro. I need to bounce back here. Let's go.
Well, this one is to try to finish the week 500 over 500 in best bets. So we got some stakes here. With that said, going back to the last game we talked about, I feel the most comfortable with Vegas, given what I just said here. I don't see them losing a game like this. And I think they're going to cruise tonight. Give me Vegas puck line in that one.
Love it. What about you, Andre?
Some good options, but I just keep coming back to Bruins -125. Arguably the best team in the league. Great value. They do everything the Islanders do, but better. I like the value. I know the Islanders are playing well, but all good things must come to an end. So give me the Bruins money line.
I have had some tough beats. A lot of my bad beats this week have been shot totals. But you know what? I'm going to go down swinging. It's Friday.
That's right.
Let's get a shot total. Let's bounce back. Keller on FanDuel, you can get Keller 4+ shots at plus 172. Let me see. Doing this live YouTubing. Let me see what it is on DraftKings now. Over 2.5 is minus 166. So I like Keller 4 shots plus 172. But for the sake of our parlay, which I know that you're building on DraftKings.
Always.
Let's go. I think Pasternak power play point at plus 100. I just think, like, going back to that game, the Islanders have an awful penalty kill. And I like that as my best bet. Can you make? You can't.
Parlay power play props.
Oh,
that's so
amateur
brutal.
move by me. All right, let me find just real quick.
That's not you. That's a DK problem.
Let me.
Yeah, we should
yo,
be able
you know
to
what,
do power play things.
That is so funny. You said that because I was gonna pivot to a Stars power play point.
Oh.
The Stars were my second pick too for best bets.
Yeah, because Ottawa, like I already said, Ottawa has an awful penalty kill, and Dallas has a great power play. So
the Stars are all our contingency play, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, all right. Well, you want to do that?
Yeah. So you're locking in pasta.
I'll lock in pasta. Yeah, pasta.
So John was Knights minus 1.5. Stars minus 1.5. You are Pasternak power play point plus 100. Together, that's plus 885.
Let's get some weekend money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yesterday was too low. I was too pedestrian yesterday, plus 600 and something.
We're back.
Absolutely love it. Well, once again, what was I? Oh yeah, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Everybody watching, if you're listening, you got that YouTube premium and you got the screen off. You're in the car, you're driving, you're listening. Thank you so much. To everybody, have a great weekend. Good luck on your bets. Don't forget, firstroundcollectibles.com. Use the code SPORTSADDICT and you will get 10% off all cards and an extra 10% on 50%. I'm not great at math, but 10% plus 50% is a lot of percent. So go there and do that, and we will see you guys on Monday. It's the weekend.
That's right.
Have a wonderful weekend, John, Andre. See you guys next time.